right, so our first lesson for this class is going to be very, very basic, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what Google tools are included in G Suite for Education, what tools are not, and what these tools are used for. So no getting in depth to the different kinds of tools, but just to get you thinking about what types of tools are available to you with Google. Later on, we'll get in depth with how we use these tools, but right now, it's really just about thinking, how could I use this in my classroom? How can I use this to be productive? All right, so let's start with G Suite for Education. There are several tools that are actually included in G Suite for Education, and there are some that are not. So we're going to start with the basics and just a quick rundown of what that tool does. Google Classroom. This is where you can have classes, invite your students to be a part of your classes, create assignments, share materials, track progress, give grades. It's a really great tool, and it used to be exclusively in G Suite for Education. Now, of course, you can get it anywhere, but Google Classroom is one of the main G Suite for Education tools. The other main G Suite for Education tool is Drive. Drive is where a lot of these other tools live. It's where you keep your files, it's where you keep all of your information, and it's how you keep a lot of these tools connected. Speaking of things included within Drive, Google Docs are similar to Word documents. These are word processing documents that you can create and share. Google Sheets are spreadsheets. Google Slides are presentations. Google Drawings, also within Google Drive, is where you can create flowcharts, images with text and all kinds of combinations of drawings and then insert those into other documents. Google Sites used to be a separate tool, also now included within Drive, is how you create a website linked to all of these tools. Google Forms, create a survey, create a quiz to get student feedback. Great dynamic tool that uses a lot of these tools. Google Hangouts. This is a communication tool, an instant messaging, and a video chat tool. You can also use Hangouts to schedule meetings, have video conferencing, and have your students connecting with other classrooms. Google Calendar, where you can keep all of your appointments, invite people to appointments, attach documents from your Drive, just a basic calendar application. And Google Groups. This is where you can connect with others, create a group of people for communication. It's something we probably don't use as much in Murray, but it is out there, and it is a tool that is available for you with G Suite. And then a tool that we do not have turned on, but that will be on the test, is Google Mail. So this is a tool that you will need to be familiar with for the test. You will be quizzed on it. So if you do not have a Gmail account, a personal Gmail account, I would highly suggest that you get one and start using it on the web. We'll talk more in depth about that in a later lesson. So what tools can you access from within Google Drive? All of the tools listed here can be accessed from within Google Drive, plus a few others. So when you're in your Google Drive, you can actually hit New and make any of these items. Let's take a look. From within your Google Drive, when you go to New, you can create all three Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. You can also go down to More, create a Google Form, a Google Drawing, or a Google Site. There are other things in my list, and we'll get into third-party apps and marketplace apps later, but those are the Google tools within Google Drive that you can create. So where do you find these Google tools? If it's not within your Google Drive, there are a couple different places that you can go to get the tools. Number one, you can click on the app switcher, or the little waffle. It is called the app switcher for your official test. And you can click on the tool that you're looking for. They may not all appear there, but there is a Show More button at the bottom if you don't see it. You can also go to Google Search. What I do a lot of times is go to the Google search bar and I just start typing the name of the tool and hit enter. Or you can type in the name of the website. So all of these Google tools that we just talked about, sites, docs, forms, if you insert that word right here, it will take you to that site. So let's look. So 3 quick ways to find your Google tool. Number 1, use the app switcher and click on the tool. Number 2, do a Google search and search for the tool, and it should be the first one to come up. Number 3, you can just type in the website, classroom.google.com. And remember, when you're typing in these websites, if you replace this first word with any other Google tool, like Forms, it will take you there too. So all of them work kind of the same way. So what other Google tools are there that are not covered by G Suite for Education? And by not covered, I don't mean that we cannot use them in an education setting. It just means that they're not part of the tools that we manage in our Google for Education setting. So Chrome, that's the browser, of course, that we use most of the time to use our Google tools. Google Plus, which is a community for sharing and creating groups, kind of similar to Google Groups, but a little bit different, more of a social media platform. YouTube, of course. YouTube, the video platform, Google owns that as well, so it works with all of your Google tools. Google Maps and Google Earth are both Google tools that we do not have to manage. And then Blogger, a website for creating blogs, is also a Google tool that will work with all the rest of your Google tools. The other thing we're going to cover in this lesson is where to go for help when you need it. So there are a couple of different options, and it's not as easy as just Googling the answer, but you have to know when to use each platform and when to use each help item. So first of all, you can, of course, Google search any questions that you may have. If you're looking at how to do something with Google Classroom, if you're looking on how to use a tool in your classroom, Google search could be great. It's much easier if you're looking for a quick way or a quick question like, how do I insert a link into a document? Or how do I upload a video to YouTube? Something that's procedural, something that's going to be the same no matter who does it. Because you're not necessarily going to get the perfect or the right answer when you do a Google search. You just have to be careful when you're searching that you vet your source and you make sure that that is a good source that you're getting information from. But for a quick question, it's the best place for you to go. The second option that you have is the actual Google Help Center. And in fact, when you do a Google search on how to use a certain tool, you might get responses or links to the Google Help Center. So this link is support.google.com, or you can search for Google Drive Help, and likely the Google Drive Support Center will come up. But when you go to the Support Center, you can actually search that just directly, or you can click on a specific tool and get help for that specific tool. Either option is great. You definitely want to use this if you want let's say, a list of how to do something to hand to a student. How is a student going to search? Use an advanced search feature. And you want to give them great directions that you know are from a good source. The third place you can go is to the product forums for Google. So forums are where people can add and talk and ask questions. So this is a wide open deal. You may get certified Google people who are answering questions here, but you're also going to get people just in the community using the tools who are answering the questions. So there actually is a spot on this for Google for Education help. There's a specific Google for Education help forum, and that's going to help because your answers there are going to be answered by other people who are on this forum and trying to give specific Google for Education help. And it is different using Google tools in an education setting than it is using it in a business setting. So you might want to go specifically to the Google for Education help forum when you're looking for questions just about education tools. But the forums are there for you to ask questions. You can reach out to others and people will answer your questions. It's a great place to go. So that's it for this week's tool lesson. Very simple. We're not getting in depth with how to use any of those tools yet. Just kind of knowing where they are and what's included in G Suite for Education is the important part of this week. Make sure you look at all of the slides on this week's assignment and complete all of those tasks, and I will post a new assignment next week.